Hi there, thanks for checking out our repair channel. This is just going to be an overview testing video of this particular unit. This is a Cyclops Brute. Cyclops is an American-made fence charger company. They're made by Taylor Fence out of Alabama. This is a really good units. Cyclops makes a pretty reliable product, really hard-hitting product. They're not quite as expensive as a Gallagher or Speedrite unit. You don't get near the warranty out of one though. Warranty on the Cyclops, typically is a 1-year warranty. You can buy an extended warranty on these things. You deal with all that stuff with Taylor Fence when you buy one from whoever you're buying one from. When you open up the box, it comes with some paperwork and some pamphlets and stuff in there, and talks about the extended warranty that you can buy. And all you have to do is provide a copy of your receipt, and you have to make your decision on how many years of extra warranty you want. It's $25 a year, with a maximum that you can get 4 extra years, so 5-year warranty. But you have to make that decision if you want 1, 2, 3, or 4 years of extra warranty within the 30 days of when you do it, and you have to do it all at once. You can't say, okay, now I want to buy a 1-year warranty now, but then 6 months later or a year and a half later you want to buy an extra 2-year warranty. You have to do that 1 to 4 year extra warranty within 30 days when you buy one of these things. And then by then, if you put the extra $100 into it, you could, get it 2 extra years of warranty. But then you could have bought a Gallagher with a 3-year warranty, probably a little bit less. So there's kind of a give and take. I mean, they make a really good unit. They make big ones, small ones. This is kind of middle of the road. This is 10 stored joules with 8 output, so it packs a pretty good punch. But these things are about $320, $340 for price, for one. So they're kind of expensive, but you're getting a lot of power. If you don't need one this big, they do make smaller ones. They make 3 smaller ones. I think the Hero, the Stallion, the Champ, Brute, Super, Master, and then the Boss. What's nice with all those units is they're all physically the same size, all physically the same case and everything. Just the guts and the circuit boards are all different. And they do make 12-volt and solar ones as well, but they all look like this. Well, let's get into this thing. This is one that we worked on for a customer. We got going again. So, if you have one of these Cyclops Brutes or a Cyclops whatever, we do work on them. We've worked on a lot of Cyclops, so if you've got one and he's worked on, we'd be happy to work on it for you. We give you a free quote, and whatever we repair it on a unit, it gets a 1.5-year warranty on the repairs. So this got a single light that flashes on there with every pulse. It's a little orangish colored light. And these also have fuses on them. We got one over here and one over here that you can change if it needs to. And they're just those glass tube fuses, and all of them take different sizes. Some share the same size, but this one over here on the fence side is a 2-amp fuse, 250 volt, and the one on the power cord side, this one's a 1/2-amp, 250 volt. So you got to use the right size fuse in order to really protect the unit correctly. And when you buy a new one, it comes with 4 extra fuses, 2 for over here and 2 for over here, when you buy one of their units. So if one fuse blows, you can change it. So we'll power it up here and hear it clicking, see it flashing. So we'll put the fence tester across here. I'm just going to use this little analog fence tester. I'm going to go across the fence and the ground, see what it reads. And we're getting, this is over 10,000. It is probably about 9,000. But this being electromechanical, it feels the energy pulsing to it. So these bigger joule units, it really makes the needle peg on these things. But it's probably right around 9,000 volts, give or take. Is probably what this thing actually is putting out. If I had a digital one, that's probably what it would read. I don't have my digital one handy with me right now. I don't know where it's sitting at. So now what we'll do is, what I want to show you as well, I'm going to put a load on it. We'll put a 500 ohm load and a 100 ohm load. And the closer you get to 0 ohms between fence and ground, the worse of a load it is, the worse of a short it is. So the first load I'm going to put on is a 500 ohm load, and you'll see that this will drop the voltage down some when it goes to peg itself out. So right now we're reading well over 10 based on this meter, but I'm going to pull these leads back. I'm going to put a 500 ohm load, and we'll see where this drops down, or where this peaks out at. So it's not climbing over 10 anymore, but it's definitely so packing quite a punch. So now we're going to put a 100 ohm, and we'll see what this reads. So this is going to drag it in. I say if it dropped down to 10, roughly with the 500 ohm load, it's probably going to be in that 6 or 7 range, or 5 or 6 range. Now it made a liar out of me. It's reading, it's still getting almost 8,000 volts out of it with 100 ohm, with 150 ohm load. So these things can take a pretty good load on them and still work. Now what's nice is it has this light, and this light's just not for looks. It actually has a function to it. If you walk by one day, you can hear your unit clicking, but you don't see the light flashing when it clicks. That could mean you have a load on your fence that's heavy enough to make the light go out. So I'm gonna take this wire, I'm gonna dead short it, and you'll see that you'll hear it click, but the light's gonna go out. See, light goes out. As soon as you fix the problem, it goes back to flashing. Now, if you're not sure if this is the issue, the unit itself is the issue, or if the fence has got a drag on it, before you start running around chasing the fence and all that kind of stuff, turn your unit off so it's not clicking no more. Undo your fence and ground, pull the wires off, and then plug it back in. If the light goes back to flashing, then the unit itself is fine. You still want to take a fence tester, if you've got one, and stick it across and see if you're getting 9,000 volts out of it. Or if you're like, oh, I don't have a fence tester, just take a piece of wire, or if you got a long couple screwdrivers, touch them, get them real close together, touch the ground side and get real close to the hot side, and you'll see it, throw a spark. So that's another way you can test it. So, but if it still won't flash, now then what you want to do is you want to check this fuse here. This is your fence output fuse. The fuse that's over here, it looks like it's on the ground side. It's not physically on the ground side when you're looking at it, but internally, I'll take the cover off so you can see it. Internally, it is tied to your power cord. So this is your surge protector fuse for your power cord. So you would take this fuse out. You can either look at it, you can take an ohm meter and ohm it out for continuity and see if it reads good. If you can't tell, a fuse looks like it's good. If you got another one, just pull it out, stick the new one back in there that you know is good. And you push it in, it should line up a certain way, push it all the way in and turn it. And then it locks that little cap on there. Then power back on and see if the light still flashes. If the light does, then your fuse was indeed bad. If it still won't flash, then okay, I've got issues inside. I need to, I need to get this thing looked at. Something's wrong with it on the inside. And we repair, handfuls of these Cyclops units. Honestly, the Brute is probably their most sold unit because it's right in the middle. It's not real big and heavy, power-wise. Not a little dinky powered one. It's just right in the middle, so it packs a nice punch for most small, medium, or medium sort of large properties and fence systems. So this is a really good all-around size one. To make a next size bigger is a super. I think it's like a 16 store, 12 output, so it's a little stronger. So now I'll take the cover off and show you the inside. So that's what the inside of the Cyclops Brute looks like. See how this fuse comes in over here? Some guys will talk to on the phone, well, I changed my ground fuse, but it's still not working or whatever. And they think the ground, that fuse on the left side is my ground fuse, but it's on the same side as your ground knob, but it's not actually tied into the ground. You can see the power cord comes in here, goes to the fuse, comes over to the fuse. This is your little surge protector board. It comes off, for the AC side. So this has a built-in surge protector board right in it. Most brands don't have that. They'll have these little blue things or another colored little thing on there, about like one or two, or a little bitty one or whatever. That's just a surge suppressor basically. But this has all that stuff built onto it in a lot of them. And so power comes in, goes through that board, then it jumpers over to these wires, come off the power cord area, over to the main board. That main board has all this multiplier circuit and everything, and then you got the big capacitors that tie back into the board as well. So all that power is coming in and eventually going over to these capacitors right here. Then there's a device on there that is tied in with the timing circuit, and so it knows when to click and discharge. All that power gets stored up in these capacitors, gets put onto this transformer. And this transformer takes all that energy, boosted up to a real high voltage but very, very low amperage and current, and then it spits it over to these wires to this board here. And this is another lightning protector board. It's on your output side for your fence and ground, and it also feeds power to your light bulb here as well. But this board is for your lightning damage stuff that can come in on the fence and ground side. These boards don't go bad that often. Occasionally they do, but not very often. So these boards are pretty hardy here. And so that's what that board does. But then it comes off this board, and a couple of these go to the fuse over here, I think it is. Yeah, couple of these wire. One of these goes to the fuse, one goes to the other side of the fuse, and the other red one goes back over to your fence terminal. And then one over here, two of these come from the light bulb, and the other part of it comes over and goes to your ground knob, which is underneath this board over here. So that's how it runs, and it does all that calculation of pulsing and snapping and charging and discharging all within about a second and a half. So it goes pretty darn quick. So, but that's the inside overlay of what a Cyclops Brute looks like. It's nice that everything's all separated, so if you know what the issue is, you know what part to either fix inside or replace. We do stock parts for these, so if you've got a unit and you know what's wrong with it, if you want to order a part from us, you can. Or if you're like, I don't even know where I'm starting at, you're more than welcome to send it here. They're kind of expensive to replace, so it's good to try to, get one fixed. We'll give you a free quote. I'll tell you right now, the parts that don't go bad that often are the capacitors and this board. Occasionally the transformer goes bad. Occasionally either that board or this board will go bad. But we stock all this stuff in-house. So if you've got a unit that's bad, we can, get you the parts. And you do get a 1.5 year warranty on the parts if you buy them from us and you install them. But sometimes troubleshooting one of these, you're kind of sometimes guessing. We can troubleshoot with the phone a little bit. But if you're like, I don't know what is exactly wrong, I think it's this. And there have been a few times I've sent parts to a person, and they think they've got the right part. We troubleshoot the best we could over the phone, send the part, and it still won't work. And so I was like, well, now what do you do? So then you got to box it up anyways and send it here, or you got to try to troubleshoot some more. So sometimes I just always recommend, sometimes just send a unit to us, let us go through it, and let me fix it for you, and do it right. And because if I got boxes and boxes of parts for all kinds of brands and models and things, so I can trial and error a couple of things. If I'm like, I don't know if it's this or this, and I tested a few other things, I think it's this. If I change out this part and it still doesn't work, then I go, okay, well, I was wrong that time. Then I can put your board back in, and then that way I'm not playing, we're not playing back and forth the parts and everything. So there's very few times I guess wrong whenever I'm working on something. I don't do a lot of guessing, but I do a lot of testing first before I say, I think it's this. And about 90% of the time, I'm correct on the part that I think is bad based on how I'm testing it. But we work on a lot of these things, so it takes a little time to get it down pat, and doing the work right the first time than it is to guess 10 times and get it right once. So hopefully this was some benefit for you. You know, these Cyclops are a good unit, so if you've got one, you know, you definitely want to try to get it fixed. It's not, you know, not a throwaway unit by any means. You know, if you got one and you went through it and everything, or if you want us to go through it, we'll be happy to. Turn this off. Put the cover back on. I'm going to screw it back together here in a minute. But hopefully this video was of some benefit for you. If you got one, send it in to us. Be happy to look at it. And like I said, we work on all brands, all ages, no matter how old or how new it is. We'll work on it for you. And it's always a free quote, always an 18-month warranty. You know, go to our website, fencerfixer.com. And fencer and fixer are both spelled with an F as in Frank. But until we do another video of how to fix one, how one works, you know, anything like that, we will see you later.